Hi there, welcome to the YouTube channel and today's deck tech. Marvo, Deep Operative. Yeah, one of the MKM commander cards is the alternate commander from the Revenant Recon deck, if I remember correctly. Anyway, 3 blue and black for a 1/8 Octopus Rogue. Okay. And whenever Marvo Deep Operative attacks, clash with defending player. Now, clash is an old ability where you reveal the top card. Each clashing player reveals the top card of their library, then they puts that card on the top or bottom of their library. The player with the higher mana value wins. But in this case, whenever we clash and we win, we draw a card. And then you may cast a spell from our hand with mana value 8 or less without paying its mana cost. This means Marvo's really good at cheating things into play. However, a lot of the good spells in blue and black are 6, 7, 8 mana. Marvo's 5 themselves, and you need to get Marvo into play and attacking as soon as possible. So it's kind of a deep one to try and deep one, get it? Complicated one, I suppose, is a better way of putting it, to work out on how we're going to do things. But this is how today's deck looks. Oh, and my background image has arrived. Sorry, just show this off while we're here. There you go. If you wonder what the rest of it looks like, you can see it. It's all everywhere now. So yeah, thank you to the person who did that for me, not naming names. Anyway, back to the deck tech. Here we go. So, as usual, lands, blue and black lands, all the way through. I am playing Field of the Dead. We do need some sort of blockers, and we have enough dual lands that will trigger quite happily a lot of the time. A couple of ones I will point out. We have got Secret Passage in from the Clue deck, because I quite like the ability to investigate and card drawing. Though we won't have mana a lot of the time to use, but the odd card draw may help us out. Rivendell comes in from Lord of the Rings, just so we can do a bit of scrying, and scrying is important, because we want to scry when we've got Marvo in play to make sure we've got an expensive card on top when we're about to attack, and then a cheaper card underneath it that we can cast on our next main phase. So the scrying is really important in this deck, and we do have a few other ways of doing it that are coming up. Beyond that, there's Toskia's Dig Site from coming in from Brothers War. This is alternate scry if you want to. It's surveil, chuck things in the graveyard we don't need, so maybe get rid of lands if we've got 2 lands there or something or other. Temple of the False Gods here, just so we can make sure that we're getting up to our mana level, and that's really it. Reliquary Tower also makes an appearance. Ramp wise, it's quite heavy from this point of view. Now, I'm gone from it from point of view where I was trying to keep the cost down a little bit. This deck probably does need Mana Crypt, it probably does need Mana Vault, it probably needs one of each of the Moxes to make it really work out. I haven't gone with it that way, so I'm trying to keep it reasonable, because a lot of the stuff at the 6 mana and above level is quite expensive. But I have gone in really heavily, well, as heavily as I can with the ramp to start with. When I've play tested a bit, we may be changing it around a little bit, so keep your eyes out, come and watch me on stream. There's a link down below to the stream. But anyway, we've got Sol Ring, we've got Arcane Signet, we've got Dimir Signet, I've got the Jet and Sapphire Medallions, I've got Mind Stone and Thought Vessel and Talisman of Dominance. The only thing I really haven't put in, which I might put in as we're doing this video today, is the 2 diamonds as well. They are other good bits of ramp. But because we've got a lot of scrying going on, we should be able to be there, I hope. So, we've got Brainstorm, we've got Opt, we've got Ponder, we've got Preordain and Serum Visions to play around with the top of our library as much as we can to make sure that we're getting the lands and the ramp we need, and then when we get Marvo in play, to make sure we've got the most expensive thing on top. Elixir of Immortality lets us shuffle everything back in, or gives us a shuffle if we've got to a point where we've got 2 lands on top and there's nothing we can do about it. Explorer's Scope is just a little bit of equipment that we're going to put in just so we can kind of get the land off the top when we're attacking. If it's a land card you put it onto the battlefield tap, that's fine. But it does give you a look that's there. So if you do your stacking right, and it's where it's going to get a little bit tricky, because it involves Sensei's Divining Top, which is in the deck. So, in a hypothetical situation, we have Marvo in play ready to attack. We equip Explorer's Scope, and we have Sensei's Divining Top sitting there with a bit of mana. We attack. We put the Clash trigger on the stack, put the Explorer's Scope trigger on the stack, let the Explorer's Scope trigger resolve. If it's a land, great, we get it into play, and then hopefully we've still got 1 mana untapped to trigger Sensei's Divining Top. If it is an expensive spell, we're just going to leave it there, obviously. And if it's anything else, we're going to try and do the Sensei's Divining Top trick to get something better on top so we can win the clash and then put a card into play with Marvo. A little bit tricky, but it does work, trust me, I've tried it. We've got Contingency Plan, which does the whole Surveil 5 thing, so that really does dig us through problems. Curate, Surveil 2 and draw a card. Cyclonic Rift gives us a bit of ball control. Deliberate, scry 2, draw a card. Thank you, we can do that on a trigger to Marvo attack, and we've got no other way of manipulating the top. Counterspell and Mana Drain give us a little bit of control in the deck. As you've probably already guessed, Lightning Greaves and the Boots are here to ensure that we can get the haste on Marvo as soon as he comes into play. We'll be digging around for these as well originally with some of these spells. Thassa in this deck is very good. You get an auto scry each turn. Can't complain with that, and you can get Marvo through unblocked if you need to do it that way, just to make sure that you get your little bit of 1 point of damage in. You know, you can build up the commander damage. The 4 drops, Behold the Multiverse is here. This will go on full tail land as soon as possible and then get played for 2 mana. Again, same idea, stack the triggers with Marvo. We can get rid of things off the top that we might be good to draw with. Glimmer of Genius, again, we're not going to use the energy for anything, but it's a 4 mana version of Behold, well, it is 4. Basically, Behold the Multiverse without the foretell ability. No difference between the cards. You know. This has got foretell. This gives us energy we aren't going to use. So, yeah, it is what it is. Damnation is here. Again, more board control if we need it. And then Roaming Throne is probably another one that you're wondering about. But there are a couple of creature types that we do want to choose with this deck that can help us out a little bit and get the triggers going. 5 drops. Precognitive Perception is here. Instant speed, draw 3. Cast it in our turn, scry 3 as well. Crux of Fate gives a bit more board control. And Eloise, Nephilim Sleuth, is also here. Another rogue. Whenever another creature we control dies, we get to investigate. And then sack a token. When we sacrifice a token, we get to surveil 1. Not the worst plan in the world at all. 5. This is where we start hitting the ones we want to be dropping in off Marvo, though, when Marvo gets there. Consecrated Sphinx, obviously. Frost Titan. Arkansas the Omnipotent. Just lets us draw our life away. Guile is very difficult for anyone to block or target or remove. And when it does die, we get to shuffle into our graveyard. Into our library, sorry. Blight Titan, we get to mill a couple of cards and then incubate if we need to. Grave Titan, zombies in itself. Kukushko. Yeah, we all know what Kukushko does in Commander. Yeah, drains everyone for 15, you gain 15, we're not going to complain. Noxious Gearhulk gives us some targeted removal. Massacre Worm gets rid of all the small stuff and then zaps everybody. Each time an opponent's creature dies, they lose 2 life. Una, Queen of the Fae, gives us a way to choose a colour and then mill someone out and get a whole load of Fairy and Rogue tokens. Wexwell, the Risen Deep, is probably not one you expect to see, but Island Walk and Swamp Walk can be very useful in this deck. And when it deals combat damage to a player, we can cast an instant or sorcery from that player's graveyard without paying its mana cost, and then you exile that spell. Can be useful. Wormcall is Wormcall, Death Touch, Lifelink, get a couple of 3/3s when it dies. Obviously, one of the cards we do want to put in off our wonderful Marvo when we get the damage in and win the clash is Agent of Treachery, because, you know, you want to nick your opponent's stuff, don't you? Or, you know, cast Nexus of Fate and really upset your opponent and get another turn and do it all again. Breach the Multiverse is even more silly. You are probably going to mill something very good and get them into play. Hopefully, creatures, if not planeswalkers, it all works out the same way, realistically, once you get the hit in. Sheldred, the Whispering one, turns up, brings everything that's been killed off from someone's graveyard back into play, and they get to sacrifice things. Arvinox, the Mind Flail. I like this card. It's just a fun one. It was originally the Stranger Things set. I can't remember what set it was, but this is the MTG version of it. At the beginning of each your end step, exile the bottom card of each opponent's library face down. For as long as those cards remain exiled, you may look at them and you may cast permanent spells from among them. And you may spend mana as though it were mana of any colour to cast those spells. And as long as you can, unless you control 3 or more permanents, this is not a creature. It's just an enchantment that sits there. Once it becomes a creature, 9/9, difficult annoyance. Memnarch also makes an appearance. We have a fair amount of blue mana. We should be able to turn things into artifacts and then nick them. Yeah, it's quite a good one. I think people forget about Memnarch, and I'm playing that sort of deck where it could be useful. But the things we're really after are here now. So, Aminatu's Augury, let's just do this. Put a land card from among them into play. Until the end of turn, each non-land card type you may cast a spell of the type from among the exiled cards without paying their mana costs. Yep, I'll target myself with this and hopefully hit some good stuff. Ancient Silver Dragon just lets us draw cards and make sure we've got no hand size for the rest of the game. Astral Dragon comes into play. We get 2 copies that target non-creature permanents. Except they're 3/3 dragons, so I can think of some very good things to copy if we need to. Byron the Moon Kraken is also here. Enters the battlefield whenever you cast a spell with mana value at 6 or more. You may bounce something. Yeah, that's nice because you do cast these. You then may cast a spell. So having this in the play and then hitting the clash every turn does mean you get 3 bounce every turn, which is nice. Dig Through Time gives us the card draw and a little bit of ordering of what we're looking for. Hoverguard Sweepers bounces 2 things that may be annoying us and gives us a 5/6 flyer that can be not the best flyer in the world, but it's a 5/6 flyer at the end of the day, so finish the game quickly. One with the Multiverse is the key one though. I'll have a free spell every turn. Thank you very much from either the top of my library or from my hand. Yeah, okay then. Margin of the Cryptic Dreams comes in as well. We get to copy target permanent spell we control 3 times. 3 copies of Agent of Treachery or something else coming into play can be quite nice. Especially if you've got this in play already and then you're copying the Agent of Treachery. Yeah, okay then. I'll gain control of 4 permanents and then start drawing cards until the end of time. Tidal Force. At the beginning of each upkeep, you may tap or untap target permanent. Archfiend of Despair. Everyone can't gain life, and at the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life that player lost this turn, including the damage, obviously. Archon of Cruelty comes in. Everyone, target opponent sacrifices a creature, discards a card, and loses 3 life. We draw a card and gain 3 life. Shouldn't we get the attack in anyway? There's no real haste that's good in blue and black, so we'll see. Margins and Light Despair. I just like this one from Champions of Kamigawa. Remove the divinity counter. Everybody loses. Each opponent discards a hand, and because you are casting it from your hand from free, you do get the divinity counter. I have checked. Final card, just so we've got a little bit of fun. Ugin the Spirit Dragon. I have hard cast this when I've play tested this deck. Yes, I've then gone +2, +2, +2, and then gone -10, and yeah, that's been very good for the game. But that's it. That is my down and dirty take on Marvo Deep Operative. I'm really looking forward to trying this out on stream. I have had one of my moderators play this against me already. So thank you, Cads. You did inspire this deck if you watched this far in the video, so I appreciate it. But I enjoyed this, and I've play tested it a couple of times on the quiet, and it's been very good fun to play against. And people really don't know how to deal with it, because 1/8, it's very difficult to remove outside of Path to Exile, but hey, Path to Exile gives me a land. I'm happy with that. But that's it. Come back tomorrow. We'll have another video up. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. It'll either be another deck tech or it'll be something a little bit different. But for now, thanks for watching. I hope you've hit the subscribe button that's down below me here somewhere. Please do. 357 as I sit and record this. So yeah, that's pretty good going. We're trying to get to 500 by the end of the year, so we're getting a little bit closer, which I like. Any comments, anything you think I've missed, let me know in the comments down below. I will get around to responding to them as soon as I see them. But for now, thanks for watching, take care, and hopefully I'll meet you on stream soon. Bye.